Coming up, Lake Mary is expected to overflow. We'll tell you where and why. Plus, Seacrest Elementary is restructuring the classroom in a way that you might not expect. The news starts now.
You're watching NAZ Today, Northern Arizona's local news.
Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm Aaron Vitito.
And I'm Mitchell McKenzie. Thanks for tuning in. Well, the tons of snow that hit northern Arizona a week ago is finally starting to melt away. Lake Mary Road is now fully reopened after being closed on February 20th due to the winter storm. However, even with the 7-mile stretch cleared, authorities are still urging caution as the surface may still be icy.
And that's not the only good news regarding Lake Mary. After this month's record snowfall in Flagstaff, Upper Lake Mary is expected to fill. The Daily Sun reports that Upper Lake Mary's drinking water capacity has increased from 25% to 23% in just a few weeks, and will soon completely fill, sending water over the dam. The last spill happened in 2017. Lake Mary provides a significant portion of Flagstaff's drinking water. Mountain Line and Arizona Snowball are extending their Mountain Express schedule by one weekend. They'll be offering free services on Saturday, March 2nd and Sunday, March 3rd. This comes after the historic snowfall that prevented buses from making their regular routes. These routes included are on the schedule that can be found at mountainline.az.gov.
Well, finding the time to give back to the community can be tough, but there are often small ways to help others.
NAZ Today reporter Paige Kenny joins us live in the studio to tell us about one such opportunity that many NAU students took advantage of today.
I visited the United Way blood drive that was held on the NAU campus today, and the event turned out to be quite a success. The sight of blood can be scary, but the process of donating it can be quick.
It's pretty simple and straightforward and only takes about 30 minutes to an hour.
Today, NAU students were taking advantage of this opportunity, with some even donating in groups.
The NAU Philanthropy Club emailed all of us NAU students, and so through that I saw it and I was a little bit interested in it, but one of my good friends texted a bunch of us and asking if we're all doing it, if we could all do it together, and so that ended up a few of us are donating now.
Giving people a chance to give back to the community isn't the only reason the Student Philanthropy Council is putting on this event.
At the moment there's a national blood shortage, particularly in Arizona, so we just wanted to help out and do what we can to give back, get people involved, and just help as many people as we can.
But there are a few tips for potential donors.
Don't come on an empty stomach, because if you do, they might have to turn you away when you start giving blood, because it's a very strenuous process. You also have to be over 110 pounds to donate, just because of the amount of blood that they do take.
A small price to pay for something that could have a big impact.
I've always been waiting for opportunities to come up, but I've never really known where to find it. So having this opportunity here on campus, it was really nice to be able to just kind of walk a few minutes over here and be able to do it.
If you're interested in donating, the blood drive will also take place tomorrow from 9:30 to 4:15, located at the bus pullout by the NAU Health and Learning Center. Paige Kenny, NAZ Today.
The snowstorm may have put a damper on the opening reception last Saturday, but the Coconino Center for the Arts recently opened their new exhibit.
That's right, Aaron. The annual Youth Art exhibit is giving students an opportunity to show their work professionally. I went out to find out more. Flagstaff has long been known as a place for art, but the Youth Art exhibit being held at the Coconino Center for the Arts brings something a little different. Every piece on display is created by local students.
We have art from kindergarten level up to 12th grade. It's pretty cool to see how the art has evolved between the different age groups.
There's a lot of really good technique at a younger level, and I think the art teachers in Flagstaff are really honing in on skills and technique and performance of these students. And it really shows in their artwork.
With over 15 schools participating and 300 works of art on display, the exhibit is a chance for students to not only have their work seen by the community, but possibly even make some money from their hard work.
Not all of it is for sale, but each piece is marked on whether or not the student would like it to be sold, and all the proceeds do go to that student.
More than anything, though, Pacheco says the exhibit is a chance for the students to gain confidence and discover things about themselves.
I think it helps define who they are, gives them an identity. You know, when you see kids' artwork, my first thought is, why did they do the artwork that they created? You know, it gives you a sense of what inspires them as children.
this artwork is valuable, it's quality, and I think it's good to promote that to all children, no matter if they think they can draw or not.
The youth art exhibit is free and open to the public throughout the month of March.
A local elementary school found a new tool to help improve their students' learning environments. NAZ Today's Chelsea Parker is in the studio with more. Chelsea?
The teachers at Sechrist Elementary are always looking for new ways to help their students learn in the best way possible. And for one teacher, that meant making some changes to the look of her classroom. After noticing how much her students were falling over in regular chairs, teacher Janelle Malone started a fundraiser to be able to buy her first graders more flexible seating.
Students were laying on their desks, they were falling over on their desks, they were tipping in their regular four-pronged chairs, and it was just amazing to see how often it happened. And then I started doing some research on flexible seating and came across stability balls as an option.
Malone said that stability balls have helped her students feel more comfortable and focus more on their schoolwork.
As students were able to move a lot more, they were able to concentrate, they were able to move when they needed. It helped them focus a lot more. I noticed behavior improvements and I noticed handwriting improvements.
These chairs help us concentrate math, and all of us, when we sit on these chairs, it lets us concentrate.
Other flexible seating options were crate seats, wobble stools, and spinning stools.
Like when you pull off of something and you try to spin around, then you could spin them around.
But Malone thinks the stability balls were the most effective.
Some teachers say, oh my gosh, I don't know how you can sit in there and watch them bounce all day, and it's not that way at all. And it's a way for students to output their energy and help them relax and help them focus a little bit more.
And on top of that, the kids are even strengthening their muscles.
The students who sit on the stability balls, they use their core muscles, which aren't typically used at a young age. And so sometimes you will get students saying, oh, you know, my back is hurting because they are using their core muscles to sit up straight. So there is a bit of strengthening that does happen.
I love school.
Helping kids be more healthy and focused, one bounce at a time. And after the success of the new seating in her classroom, she received a $1,000 grant to purchase more for the rest of the school. Chelsea Parker, NAZ Today.
Well, every Thursday, we like to feature a furry friend looking for a forever home in this week's Pet of the Week.
We recently went out to High Country Humane Center and met a low-key pup looking for someone to cuddle with. Reporter David Smith has the story.
Meet Bear, a 7-year-old terrier mix who has been living at High Country Humane for several weeks now and is looking for his forever home. A bundle of happiness, High Country's executive director Steve Conrad says,
he is truly a lover. He's going to be a great family dog. He's going to want to snuggle up on a couch or at your feet more than going on the hiking trails.
Despite being a stray, he is already housebroken, and he knows a few tricks, including sitting and shaking hands. He is a little too big for toddlers, but Conrad says he might be a good fit for a family with older children and even other pets.
He seems to get along with all the other dogs in the shelter. No growling, shows no signs of wanting to be the boss dog.
While Bear certainly has more than enough love to share, he is a laid-back dog who prefers napping with the family over grand adventures.
Oh, I would say he's more of a Netflix kind of guy. He would rather probably go do his business outside and then come back in and lay around the house with you.
Conrad encourages families to come to the center and visit the animals and see if any of them are a fit for your family. The simple adoption process can send you home with a loving pet like Bear.
We want to see him go to a good family. He's just so sweet and so fun to be around. He's due to find his forever home.
David Smith, NAZ Today.
Now, if you're interested in having a friend like Bear, and let's be honest, who wouldn't be, the adoption process can be completed in person or online at highcountryhumane.org. Coming up, a major company is recalling one of their products. Also, we'll tell you the results of the U.S.-North Korea summit. Stay with us.
All right, the big melt-off continues for us here. The warmest day we've had across northern and central Arizona since the very first day of February. Very mild air mass coming in off the subtropical Pacific, warming us up just a couple degrees each and every day. And we do have another rainstorm going into this weekend. We've had a storm every single weekend of the month of February. It looks like that trend continues here for the first weekend of March. Here's a look at it spinning up in the Central Pacific, looking more wet than what I had previously been thinking. We're going to talk about it coming up in the forecast.
Cash in the dash at Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac. Every new Chevrolet will have an envelope in the dash with a card inside, letting you know how much cash you'll receive when you purchase your new Chevrolet. $1,000, $2,000, up to $6,500 in extra cash when you purchase your new Chevrolet. Cash in the dash.
Hi, I'm Mark Harris, owner of Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac. I guarantee to beat anybody's price or you'll receive $500. Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac. No pressure, no hype.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool. Oh, yeah. Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back. Well, a popular food brand, Boston Market, is recalling their frozen meals. The company announced that about 86 tons worth of boneless pork patties may be contaminated with glass or hard plastic. These meals were shipped nationwide into a Department of Defense facility in Tucson. Although there have been no confirmed reports of any injuries or illness related to this product, consumers are still urged to return the products or throw them away.
Despite talks of potential denuclearization, the anticipated summit between President Trump and North Korean President Kim Jong-un ended without a deal. CNN's Caitlin Collins has the story.
I'm never afraid to walk from a deal.
And that's exactly what President Trump did today, leaving Vietnam without a deal and on an empty stomach after talks with the North Korean dictator fell apart. The president and Kim Jong-un canceling lunch and a joint signing ceremony after reaching a standoff during their second nuclear summit.
Basically, they wanted the sanctions lifted in their entirety, and we couldn't do that. They were willing to denuke a large portion of the areas that we wanted, but we couldn't give up all of the sanctions for that.
The North Korean demand, a deal breaker for Trump, but a sigh of relief for aides who feared he'd make major concessions.
I could have 100% signed something today. We actually had papers ready to be signed, but it just wasn't appropriate. I want to do it right. I'd much rather do it right than do it fast.
As of now, the president says there's no third summit on the horizon.
I mean, it might be soon, it might not be for a long time. I can't tell you.
And despite talks falling apart, Trump speaking highly of Kim to reporters before leaving Hanoi.
This wasn't a walk away like you get up and walk out. No, this was very friendly. We shook hands. There's a warmth that we have. Now, I hope that stays. I think it will.
But Kim leads one of the most repressive regimes on the planet, one that's widely blamed for the death of Otto Warmbier, an American college student who was detained in North Korea and sent home in a coma only to die days later.
He tells me that he didn't know about it, and I will take him at his word.
Trump siding with the North Korean dictator while angering allies at home.
We know what happened to Otto. We know what this country has done.
Though the president's critics sounded hopeful about the outcome of his summit.
A deal that fell short of complete verifiable denuclearization would have only made North Korea stronger and the world less safe.
Trump is expected to arrive back at the White House early Friday morning.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Tonight's NAZ Today weather is brought to you in part by Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac in Flagstaff.
All right, bookend warm days for us here in the month of February. February 1, our high temperature in Flagstaff, 51 degrees. Then things went rainy, snowy, and cold all month long. And today, the warmest day and only the second time we hit 50 here on the last day of February. 47 degrees, our average high temperature for this time of year. Of course, that 51 at the beginning of the month was extraordinary warm. Today, not really so much, just right on average for the most part for this time of year, and everybody warming up. Kind of the warmest day for most people across the region that we've seen in quite some time. It was 53 at Grand Canyon today, Page 64, 67 in Winslow, 61 up in Hopi. We have Hopi High School students in the house today. And let's take a look at our satellite. Mostly sunny skies across Arizona today. All this white you see across here, this is the snow cover. Even some snow cover up across the northeast mesas a little bit. But, you know, when we looked at this kind of visible satellite a week or so ago, there was much more snow and really melting off here in the last several days as things have warmed up. And we took a look out the west coast. Notice there are some clouds making their way towards us. We're going to see clouds on the increase for us here during the overnight and into the day tomorrow. Here is the California coastline. Here's Arizona. Here's this batch of enhanced in color high clouds. The satellite service just makes the high cold clouds a blue for us, so they stand out more. This big batch of high clouds heading our way towards Arizona. Notice everything coming out of the Central Pacific. It's a very mild air mass. We'll see high clouds on the increase tonight and tomorrow. I think we're partly to mostly cloudy on our Friday with temperatures remaining on the mild side for this time of year. All right, here's our storm system for Saturday, set up in the Central Pacific, a relatively warm storm for this time of year, kind of just marching towards us here. Moves in on Saturday, increasing clouds and wind through the day on Saturday. Rain showers spreading all across northern and central Arizona by the noon time frame, going into the evening and night before the storm clears on Sunday. As I say, relatively warm. Snow levels look to remain above 8,000 feet. It looks a little bit more wet than what I had previously thought. Models trending with about 1/2 of an inch of rainfall, widespread, some areas up to 3/4 of an inch of rain across northern and central Arizona, and that's spread over 12 hours or so of rain. Shouldn't be too much of a big hydrological issue like we saw with the rainstorm on top of the snowpack back, what was that, on President's Day, and we saw the big flooding down through Oak Creek and the Verde watershed. I think this is not quite what we saw there. We will see some high water down across areas south of the Mogollon Rim, but I do not think flooding is going to be a big issue. But a rainy Saturday in store for us. Currently outside, temperatures here in Flagstaff, we're at 46 degrees, winds low, 61. Up on Hopi, it is 59. South rim of the Grand Canyon, it is 50 degrees. All right, overnight for tonight, some high cirrus clouds on the increase, a relatively mild overnight at 24 degrees. Tomorrow, temperatures still running a few degrees above average despite some cloud cover. Another breezy afternoon and forecasting 52 for us here in Flagstaff. So the warm-up continues as that mild air or subtropical air mass continues its way, working its way in off the Pacific Ocean. Okay, statewide forecast for us on our Friday, rounding out the work week, 64 in Sedona, Prescott, 62, Payson, 61, Winslow, 64, and Tuba City, a high temperature to round out the work week of 60 degrees. Okay, look at the extended forecast for us here. Wet and chilly on our Saturday, maybe a little rain snow mix as we get into Saturday night around town in Flagstaff. I'm not expecting any snow accumulation, possibly 6 inches of new snow up on the San Francisco Peak Saturday night. Could be a powder day at the Snow Bowl and a great day at Nordic Village on Sunday, and storm clears through the day.
Well, I like that very much.
Yeah.
So, Christiana, what do we have in sports?
Well, I went and talked to Coach Payne this week. I'll have that and more after the break.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done.
1 minute break.
Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to NAZ Today. I'm your sports reporter, Cristiana Ramos. We're doing something a little different this week with season predictions. The Flagstaff Eagles baseball team are starting their season off with a 0-2 record so far. That's not including their game earlier today against Glendale High School. Now, the Eagles did lose their star shortstop Drew Healy since he graduated last spring. This has affected, This has affected the Eagles in their season this year. The team is going to need their returning players to step it up. Players like junior Stephen Gonzalez, who had a .435 batting average last season. Defensively, the arm to look out for is outfielder Derek Williamson, who averaged a .912 fielding percentage with only 2 errors last season. The Eagles have had some new players make their way on the team, and they are going to need to find their rhythm again in order to win more games. Now we jump onto the court. Although NAU women's basketball lost their game on the road against Eastern Washington last weekend, they have a whole week off to gather their composure and make a game comeback against Montana State this Saturday. I talked to Coach Payne today to find out the game plan.
I think we can run on them. I feel like we've been playing very well offensively. Kyrique has been putting up some big numbers down low, and I feel like our guards are starting to be a little bit more consistent from our outside shooting perspective. So we're just excited to be able to play again. It's been a week since we've played, so we were able to have some really good practices.
Sticking with women's basketball, NAU has hit the ground running this season. They have several players on this team who have been a major contribution to how much they have grown since last season. Number 11, JC Bailey, is one of the top 3 scoring leaders for NAU women's basketball. And that is how she made it into this week's NAU Spotlight.
JC Bailey, redshirt sophomore for the NAU women's basketball team, missed last season due to transfer rules. Bailey came from Florida Atlantic University and was a solid component to their team. But as she evaluated her time there, she realized she wanted to move back to the West Coast and found more opportunities at NAU after talking to head coach Lori Payne.
I think last year was very an important year. I definitely grew a lot last year, and being able to sit out, I worked on my strength, worked on basketball, all that stuff. And so I think it's definitely translated over to this year.
Bailey took time to understand NAU's plays and the mentality going into this season. Coach Payne said that it has benefited Bailey in the best way.
Yeah, I think sitting a year out is always tough, but I also think that it allows you to see the game through a different lens, through almost a coach's lens. You get to go to the strength and conditioning weight room and get a little bit more intensified workouts.
Bailey has the ability to take on different positions on the court, and that is why she is a key player to this team. Never really considering herself a shooter, Bailey said things have changed as of late, and she has really been working on her shot to help the team. For Coach Payne, she believes there are going to be challenges, but Bailey can keep up.
Again, I think consistently, her really starting to develop into a potential go-to player for us is something that we're inspiring her to become. But I think just her contributions defensively, offensively, she rebounds well, she's pretty disciplined, and so I think that is something that has really shown through.
As Bailey continues to progress and has time to grow, she is excited to see what the team will accomplish in the years to come.
So coming into NAU, I've definitely seen the culture change. I just feel like we are more dedicated and we're spending more time on basketball, improving on and off the court. The coaches are a vital component to that as well.
As Coach Payne is only in her second season and has already seen progress, a bright future is ahead for the women's basketball team. For NAZ Today, I'm Nadia Armenta.
Well, Christiana, I am actually really looking forward to that game on Saturday. All right, one more look at weather coming up right after the break. Stay with us.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Staring contest!
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
All right, welcome back. Round out the work week, 52 degrees, mostly cloudy skies out there, breezy on Friday, rain through our Saturday. We kind of close out the weekend with pretty nice fashion. 47 degrees on Sunday, warming trend into mid next week.
All right, well, awesome for that, Lee. As you do see behind us, today was a big day for us here at NAZ Today. As students from Hopi High School did visit us and joined us here. They did tour our studio, learned about journalism, and are now here to help us say goodnight. Let's all wave, everybody. Let's say goodnight, everybody. Good night, everybody.
You don't have to wait for 30 seconds.